So they make
When
your
you have an
plots
enormous
ugly,
amount
so
of
you want to get
points,
rid of
a
them.
big black cloud of points does not show a lot.
And a better idea here is to use a hexbin plot. And this is what it looks like. So it's a scatter plot, but each hexagon here represents a number of points. And you can see here that the blue represent a lot of points, while the black ones represent just a low number of points. For these plots, I will show that here, you need an additional package. So it's not by default in ggplot, but you can add it by adding this hexbin package. So you install it in the regular way via the install button here, and then you have to load it. I'm going to load one of the data sets from the R data folder, the baby's data this time. It's a European CSV file, so we use read.csv2 here. Let's take a look. It's a very big data set, as you can see here, and it contains data on babies. What are we going to work with here? So 2 weights. This column, that's the birth weight of the baby. And then there's another column with weights that I don't immediately here find. Yeah. And that is the weight after a few days or after a week, something like that, of the baby. Yeah. So these 2 columns we're going to use. So what do? I put weight on the x-axis, the other weight on the y-axis, and I ask for a scatter plot. There we go. And what do we see here? It's very ugly because we have here weights that are 999. So these are American settings, so the weights are pounds or something like that, or ounces, I'm not 100% sure. But 999 is impossible for a baby. So in this data set, 999 represents missing values. So if you want to remove rows from a data frame, the best solution always is, instead of removing, it's always very drastic, just keep the babies, keep the babies where this column is not equal to 999. Yeah? Keep all these rows, all these babies. So when I run this, and now I can make the same plot, but with the clean babies. And you see you get this. So that's a lot of points. Huh? That's just one black cloud of points. It doesn't say a lot. So in these cases, when you have so much data that you have so much points that it's just one black cloud, instead of this point geom, it's better to use the hex geom to make a hexbin plot. So rest is exactly the same. I just use a different geom. So when I run this, I get here the hexbin plot. Sometimes people, when they have a lot of data, also here, it assumes that you have a lot of points. They make what is called a beeswarm plot. And that's something in between a scatter plot and a violin plot. So you see the points, you still have the scatter, you have the points, but the points have a violin-y shape. Yeah? They show the distribution of the points. So that's a beeswarm plot. Yeah? How do you make these? Again, you need an extra package. It's not by default in ggplot2. So the GG beeswarm package, I'm going to load it. Again, I'm going to plot babies, but this time, I'm going to do this first. Yeah, I put the smoking behavior of the mother, that's what this column is. Mothers that never smoked, mothers that always smoked, mothers that stopped smoking when they found out they were pregnant, and so on. So smoking behavior of the mother. On the x-axis, I put the birth weights on the y-axis, and I add a point geom to make a scatter plot. Now, there's a lot of babies here that are falling on top of each other. It doesn't tell me anything, this scatter plot. It becomes a lot more informative when I use one of the functions from the beeswarm package. So you have the beeswarm geom, but you also have the quasi-random geom. So the only thing that's different is the shape. The shape of the violin, the distributions. So you choose the one that you like the most. I went for the quasi-random, and I get these.